Well, it's officially starting to feel like November out there, and that means it's time to start thinking about winter. So let's put away the open water fishing gear, start preparing for ice fishing. We have Jason CTV, of course, joining us this morning with all the goods. Good morning.
Good morning, Brett. How are you?
Oh, doing just great. Already thinking about winter, but ice fishing is one of those things that actually makes me look forward to winter. So I see you have the goods with you already. Tell us about what you have there.
Okay, well, I think we should start out this conversation by pointing out the fact that on the weekend I was in a boat. It was so warm, in fact, and unseasonably warm. I was in a T-shirt at one point. It's because it was that warm. So it's not ice fishing season yet, so please don't think it's ready. It's not even close. We need to have a lot more cold weather. But this is the perfect time as it starts to snow and it starts to get cool to make sure we're getting prepared. And that starts with a couple of good fishing rods, a heavier one and a lighter one.
Let's talk about fishing line. When do I need to change it and why do I have to do that?
Well, for somebody like me who's obsessed with this sport and fishes as much as they can, in particular, if you're moving rods or reels over to ice fishing rods, the shorter ice fishing rods, you're going to want to change it before you start ice fishing, because you put this line through a lot over the summer, banging it against rocks, fish, teeth, all those types of things. So you want to have a good quality line. I often go with a fluorocarbon ice line. That's amazing, the different lines they have these days. This is a little bit better sort of coating on the outside of it for abrasion resistance kind of around the ice hole. So that's the one thing you need to do, because if your rod fails or your reel fails, you still got a chance if your line doesn't fail. So that's really, really important.
There you go. A lot of lifelines there. Let's talk about augers. What do I need to know?
Well, the big thing is you're going to work a lot harder if your blades are dull. So you want to get these blades either sharpened up, professionally sharpened, I recommend, if you can find a place, or buy yourself a new set of blades. It's going to be way harder on you and way harder on the engine on your auger if you have a power auger. And speaking of engines or motors, if you have an electric motor, make sure your batteries are charged up, everything's going to work properly, and get out there in the backyard and start up that gas one and make sure it's going to run properly, because you still have time to get it tuned up if things aren't going to work quite right.
Well, you mentioned off the top of the interview, I know we're talking about ice fishing, but it's nowhere near safe yet to be out and thinking about ice fishing. So when do we know when the ice is safe?
Well, we need a whole lot of minus temperatures. If we get, and nobody's going to be happy with me when I say this, but the perfect thing to set up ice is no snow and that minus 20 to 25 calm weather. Because if it's calm, the wind's not rolling, the waves aren't pounding and breaking things up, that's what you need for at least a period of 10 to 14 days of that good solid weather. And not a lot of snow, because snow insulates and can make for bad ice. That's what we need to set it up. But when it does start to set up, you need to measure, because we're looking at a minimum of 15 centimeters for walking or skating, 20 centimeters for a small group, and about 25 before you even think about quads, snowmobiles, and all that type of stuff. And Britt, you asked me to make sure to tell your dad to get the shack ready.
Yes.
Because that's the other thing. You got to make sure your permanent shack is ready to go, the skids are good, the wheels are good, and that there's no holes in those pop-up tents. So this is a perfect time to prepare.
Yes, I hope my father-in-law Alan's watching right now. He's going to be thinking about the shack and ice fishing. Thanks for your time this morning. You can head to getfishing.ca for all the tips and tricks that Jason has for you. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.